Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Columbus Foundation. My name's Dan Sharp, Vice President for Community Research and Grants Management, and we are delighted to have you here today. There is an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. And today is the epitome of the togetherness. Thank you for what you do each and every day. Thank you for doing it together. Thank you for doing it for our neighbors of Columbus, and we're delighted to have you here at the Columbus Foundation for such an important conversation and partnership with many organizations and certainly recreation and parks. And so with that, I would like to hand the microphone over to Sophia Pfiffner.
Good morning, everybody. Are you excited for today? Yeah. Oh, that was really pitiful. I think that we're more excited than that. We're about to kick off the entire summer. Are you excited? Yes. All right, so I'm incredibly excited to be here. My name's Sophia Pfiffner. As Dan mentioned, I'm the Community Relations Chief for Columbus Recreation and Parks. And I just wanted to take a moment to thank you so much for not only being here, but being great partners to the City of Columbus. My team's responsible for telling the story of the work that we do within Recreation and Parks, whether that be through marketing or communications or building partnerships. And you're a huge part of that story. So thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We're excited for you to learn about this upcoming year and the marketing opportunities that we have to really get more kids and families engaged in summer nutrition. And to introduce the mayor, I have Amanda Wampler, who I'm sure many of you are familiar with. So thank you very much.
So thank you all for coming. I always get so excited for these, and I think this is probably our fifth that we've had, but consecutively since I've been with the city, this is our second annual. So thank you for spending the time. I know we are all so busy, and for you to take your time out to come to this meeting means so much to all of us, especially the kiddos, because this is what it's all about, right? We're super excited to kick off this meeting and talk about a wonderful collaboration. We're talking about implementing best practices. We're really excited to have Julie here with us, and she'll give a presentation at the end about all of our 220 sites that we administer food to. Columbus City Schools is such a great partner. We're really excited to have everybody here. And we'll go much more into that throughout the meeting, but I get to introduce, you all know him as the mayor. I know him as a mentor to this program. I don't know anybody who knows the city better. I'm going to try not to get emotional. But I learned this work from our mayor. I learned a lot about poverty. I thought I knew what poverty was. I did not. I love taking certain people, maybe you, to sites, and there's little kiddos under the age of 5 without any parent intervention, and as soon as some wonderful man comes in, they immediately climb him, and he lets them, and it's so great to see that. So I'm really excited for this program. I'm really excited to have truly open sites. All sites are important, but where any kiddo can come in and get a meal. All of us parents don't have the forethought or the time to plan for our kids, so for those parents, it's really important to have a different showcase and a different setting for them. And all the other sites are wonderful as well, because our kiddos need a place to go in the summertime. So it is my honor to introduce Mayor Ginther.
Good morning. What an awesome day in America's Opportunity City. I keep pitching that we're the San Diego of the Midwest, but on mornings like this, there remains quite a bit of doubt. But at least it's not snowing like it was on the first day of spring. Thrilled to be here, and to Dan and Doug and all our partners at the Columbus Foundation, thanks for hosting us this morning. I want to thank our Recreation and Parks Department, particularly Amanda and Abigail, who really are leaders of this work. Our great partners at the Children's Hunger Alliance. I saw Joe and Scott and Danny Graves. There's not a bigger champion in Columbus City Schools for this great work, so I'm grateful for them being here. But it's important to remember that half the kids that live in the city of Columbus are actually assigned to suburban school districts because of all the win-win areas and so forth. So having great partners like Kim in Hilliard and other folks in the community are so important, because we know that poverty doesn't just reside, and there are hungry kids throughout our entire community, not just in the Columbus City School District. And it is our charge, our mission, to work with all those districts to reach the young people who need access to nutritious meals. I mean, you all know better than most all the statistics. 1 in every 4 children in Ohio is food insecure, and a similar percentage of families report food hardships as well. It's because of the support of so many critical partners, many of you who are here today, that we are able to feed thousands of children each day through Go Lunch. The Go Lunch summer meal program targets this issue head-on by creating safe spaces throughout Franklin County where children can enjoy a nutritious meal while having fun and receiving educational programming provided by our Columbus partners such as COSI, our great partners at America's Best Children's Science Museum, under the dynamic leadership of Dr. Frederick Bertley. The Conservatory, if you haven't been to the Conservatory recently or spent much time with their staff, dynamos, and really opening up the eyes of the great work and the great reach of the Conservatory. And I'm a little biased, but I think Nanette and her team at the Museum of Art are doing an incredible job taking a museum's mission on the road and reaching children throughout this community. And then we've got a bunch of other folks who are providing free programming as part of this effort. The Sierra Club, Real Eyes, and Kids Smiles. These activities that are provided help meet the important needs of children in our community, particularly those with the greatest needs. And they serve as an incentive for area youth to come out of their homes to get a healthy meal in a safe environment. Good nutrition and educational activities keep our kids learning. I mean, you can't tell them it's summer school, right? You got to trick them into learning all summer. You know, get them to work on statistics by figuring out batting averages and, you know, different ways of engaging young people so they don't think they're being punished or assigned to summer school. But we got to keep those minds working all summer long. And we know, particularly children in poverty, are much more negatively impacted by summer learning loss than middle class children, because a lot of middle class families, probably like ours and yours, figure out ways to keep kids involved in some sort of productive summer camp or learning opportunity. You know, the arts camps and the different great programs. Camp Terra at Reckitt Parks, which is generally filled up, what, Director, in about 2 hours, maybe not even 2 hours, the first day you're able to register. There aren't nearly enough. Which is one of the focuses, I think, of this work, but also our continued work with the county to continue to grow the amount of summer learning opportunities for young people. We know of the impact summer learning loss has on our kids. Our goal is to slow down or stop summer learning loss, to make sure our young people enter school in August on track and ready to continue to grow in their academic achievement journeys. I've always thought that my job as mayor, and I think our job as partners, is to be partners in chief to our school districts. Summer and after school and also early learning is a place that I believe passionately the city not only has a role, but an obligation to support our school districts and the great work of our teachers and educators. I don't know much about pedagogy, curriculum, or delivery of content, but I do know this. This community values and needs to place a top priority in our young people. And so we need to support our schools, you know, in those spaces that make sense. As you can tell, I'm a little passionate about this. In a former life before mayor, I worked at the Children's Hunger Alliance, and the work of the Alliance is so important to all of our mission and work about making sure we provide access to nutritious meals and, with our partners, great activities so that our young people continue to grow and thrive. And it is incumbent upon us to do more than ever before. We know how great the need is. Here we are at the end of April, and I know our teams have been working together for months to prepare for this summer. It is absolutely essential that we all continue to focus on the children and families in this community make sure they have safe spaces, that we support each other, and continue to grow this program. My vision for this community is that we become a national leader in summer programming and access to nutritious meals. But as you all know, the city cannot do that alone. It takes each and every one of you and this community committed and staying focused on children and families as our top priority. We're lucky to have a great member, a great leader in city government, someone who has taken our efforts around collaboration and partnership to a whole new level. Great innovator, a bold leader. Please welcome our Director of Recreation and Parks, Tony Collins.
Hey, thanks everybody for being here, and how about a big hand for the mayor? I mean, I've been in this business for 20 years, and I got into the business because I believe in the movement. It's not, my job isn't a job to me. It's a way of life. It's how I believe that I can help change and how I can help my community and my neighbors. And the mayor believes in that. The mayor sees that, and so it's awesome when you can come to work every day knowing that your whole team is together working on that mission. And I'm all in on this aspect that we will be the partners that surround the kids in schools, whether it's our City of Columbus kids or our suburban neighbors. We want to be the leader in that effort to help provide for the families and the kids in our community and all of the times they're not in school. So how perfect is it that we're here today at the Columbus Foundation? Because like the City of Columbus, I guess what I hear often and almost every other day is the Columbus way. The collaboration between public, private, nonprofit entities breaking down walls and coming together to work for the better of the community. We talk about it all the time in our building, and we're always trying to figure out ways to do more of it. Some of you may have heard of our Center for Opportunity approach. We're inviting nonprofit partners into our buildings to help program with us, to help serve the community. We're working with the Boys and Girls Club, the YMCA, all different types of organizations, many of you in this room, to help provide for those types of services. You may have heard of our Schools Out initiative, where we're trying to work with all of our nonprofit partners to make sure that families know that there's opportunities for kids during spring breaks, winter breaks, after school, summer breaks, all those times that we're here. All of us are here for them, right? And so what we can do as a department, as a city, is use our resources, our leverage, including the mayor, because he's all in, to bring people together in that collaborative format and make sure that we're making a greater impact. The Columbus Foundation does that every day as well. So it's perfect that we're here today. And thanks to Dan Sharp and Doug Kryler for hosting us, because this is really a great place to have this conversation. I do also want to thank my team, because I tell you what, between Amanda and Julie, we have two of the best people in the country leading a summer food and food access program. These two, between the administration and the collaboration and efforts that Amanda and Julie lead, it's actually, I'm telling you, there's nothing like it. I just want to make tell you about one little exciting thing that happened last year, and then I want to talk a little bit about the program and initiative. Last year, this program, we kicked off, one of the things that we brought all of you together, if you remember right, we kicked off the Go Lunch initiative. One of the things that we thought we could do to help, that we were hearing from people, is help get the word out, get the message out, advocate, use our resources to help bring in the media, the social media, the electronic media, get the parents to know about your programs, your sites, our sites, so that we can get that word out. So we brought a team together and created this Go Lunch initiative so that we can all use it, right? It's blown up. People around the state are calling us, asking us, hey, can we learn more about that? Can we use it? So much so that last year, we belong to an association called the Ohio Parks and Recreation Association. It's our state association. There's 1,400 districts, cities that all belong, that offer parks and recreation all around the state of Ohio. Last year, the Go Lunch program was selected as the #1 marketing and communication initiative in the state of Ohio. We know the Columbus way, and I know you hear this often, and I hope some of you see it, but I talk to people around the country, and really this doesn't happen around the country. this type of an effort, this type of collaboration, this type of sitting at the same table and figuring out how we can work together is unique. And so people from other organizations around the state are starting to call us and say, how do we do it? What did you do? Can we borrow it? And the beauty of the Go Lunch program is we can let them borrow it. And that's one of the things that we bring to the table. We're going to continue that. So I thank the staff, I thank the mayor, I want to thank you. The mayor talked about summer learning loss, and we know that that's a critical component of what we do in the Schools Out initiative. We also talk about food access, right? And that healthy nutrition. This may be that one healthy, nutritious meal that our kids get during that day. We don't know what they're going home to, what they have to deal with, so we want to make sure that they have that healthy, nutritious meal. But I want to say two other things that are critically important to me. I tell my story a lot. I have a lot of cool stories of why I do this work. But I was that 12-year-old kid with a single mom that needed a place for her son to be. So she dropped me off at the local Y. And I connected with those adult leaders who helped me. I mean, my mom was a phenomenal woman, true role model in the world. But I will tell you that those people at that Y helped me grow into who I am. I give number one credit, not to them, of course, but to my mom and to God for setting my path. But those YMCA adult leaders gave me some direction, and here I am today, right? I mean, I'm helping to continue that movement. We have that opportunity. These food sites are just as equally important as a place to connect with our young people and give them adults who are great role models who can connect with them. My CRPD staff are some of the best people I've ever had a chance to work with. They're passionate about working with our kids and making an impact and keeping them involved in what we do. So just as equally, I would tell you just as equally as important as that food access and the summer learning and keeping that in mind is the connection to a safe place and the adults that we have or the young people that we have in those sites. And then what those people do is connect them to other resources, the other needs in the community. I'm very excited about a partnership we're developing with St. Vincent's so that our team is going to be trained this year to help identify behavior needs and other challenges that are going on at home, because we're not trained in all of those areas. We can be helped, we can learn a little bit and we can kind of identify some things, but we can't manage that. We don't know how to deal with that. So we want to work with partners to help do that. So what we can do, and all those kids, we gave out 540,000 meals last summer. That's an amazing number. I think you all know this, but just to be clear, do you know that we're the largest summer food program in the entire state of Ohio? Do you know that? Did you know that we're larger than Cleveland and Cincinnati combined? Yeah, you guys make that happen. That's absolutely incredible. So you think about the impact of the number of families that we have and how we can connect them to each other, to our resources, whether it's our site programs, our behavior programs, our other components that are in this room. It's an amazing possibility of the work that we can do. So the last thing I want to do is thank all of you, because this collaborative effort, what we're going to be able to do to talk to each other is just going to make a huge impact this summer on a lot of kids. We don't know the total impact. We'll never know the total impact, but we know we're going to be able to connect with our kids and keep them in safe places. We know that we're going to help with summer learning, and we know that we're going to give them that access to that healthy meal every day. So thank you for what you're doing. I'm psyched about you being here, and I'm psyched about everything else we're going to learn today. Thanks, Amanda.
Now we're going to kind of get to the meat of what we're doing and proposing this summer. We're really excited about it. Dr. Guthrie's going to go first. And I've told everybody today, I'm so excited you're presenting to Congress this partnership that we're doing. And we'll learn a little bit more and dive into it a little bit more.
Thank you, Amanda, and good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. We live in a great town. I just was getting the chills sitting here listening to Mayor Ginther speak and Tony Collins, and we just have outstanding leadership in this city, and it's a great place to be. Before I start talking anymore, I do want to thank Amanda and Julie. We wouldn't be here today without your hard work and your heart for these kids. So thank you for that. So I'm an associate professor at Ohio State, and I spend my whole life studying the problem of childhood obesity, and which is a persisting problem here in Columbus, as it is nationwide. And one of the things that's fueling the childhood obesity epidemic, paradoxically, is that kids are going hungry over the summer. And so that's a big focus of my research, is figuring out policy and programmatic solutions to solving the problem of childhood obesity. And so what the research shows very clearly, and you know this because you're on the ground doing the work every day, and Tony emphasized this multiple times, we researchers are a little slow to pick up on things, but it is very evident in the peer-reviewed literature that these multi-sector collaborations are winning when it comes to having a significant impact on these complex problems like summer hunger in low-income children. And so that's what's happening right here. And you know, there's some sort of magic that occurs when all sectors of society come together: government, schools, nonprofits, for-profits, university, and that's what Go Lunch represents. And so I am the researcher on the team. My team will be collecting data this summer, looking at the feasibility of Go Lunch, and then also looking at its impact on kids' nutritional health. So it's really exciting work. I'm excited to be part of it. So thank you, Amanda, for facilitating that. And as Amanda mentioned, you know, this is a result of many, many years of work and these collaborations. My team is going to present this work, this research, and Go Lunch to Congress this summer at an exhibition and reception. And so it's really exciting to see this come together. Thank you.
So the second part of that is Children's Hunger Alliance. So they are obviously huge on hiring the staff at the 5 Columbus City schools that we're going to be at this year. And they're going to talk a little bit more about that.
Well, thanks, Amanda. And I echo Dr. Gunther's remarks about Julie and Amanda's collaboration. They're really the ones that were instrumental in bringing everybody together, especially for the work this summer. So we're really excited to be here today in a room of people that are dedicated to really our goal, which is ensuring that kids have access, especially during the summer months. So I don't think I've heard this yet, but so 1 in 6, said here today, I should say, 1 in 6 kids nationally that received free and reduced price lunches during the school year are accessing those meals during the summer. And in Ohio, it's even less. So really, you know, trying to provide that access to meet that critical need in the community is just really, really important for us this year. So we're proud to be partnering with Columbus City Schools, Columbus Rec and Parks, St. Vincent's, Dr. Gunther's team, to host 5 open summer site locations throughout Columbus, and we'll talk about those a little bit more in a minute. But this pilot project is really important to us as it relates to food access. So we know that while the enrolled programs really are maybe a best practice in terms of getting kids engaged in the summer, curbing that summer learning loss, that not all kids have access to those enrolled programs. And so these truly open site locations are going to be instrumental for any children to have access to come from the community and not only receive the meal, but as many of you are also providing the educational and enrichment opportunities as well. So you'll see up here the 5 different open site locations that we are hosting this summer: East Columbus, Livingston, Trevitt, and Wyland Park Elementaries, as well as Wedgwood Middle School. And we were really careful and deliberate in choosing these site locations. The factors that we considered, things to help with the data team within Rec and Parks in the city, we're looking at the poverty rates within the surrounding communities, the number of kids who are in those communities, and especially those under the age of 14. As we know, those are the ones that are most likely to participate in these programs. The other site locations that are in the area, and if those are closed site locations or if they are truly open site locations. And then also, are they walkable? Are the kids able to get there and walk to the schools? And, you know, is it a welcoming place for them to go? So we are really excited. We've been working with the building principals who have been fantastic in really telling us about their kids and helping us plan that programming to help them meet those needs. So in addition to Children's Hunger Alliance hiring the site staff to host these 5 site locations, we're also hiring educators who will be providing physical activity and nutrition education through CATCH, which is Coordinated Approach to Child Health. It's a national evidence-based curriculum that we've been using for several years. So we're excited not only to host those or provide that in these host locations, but also in other site locations that are serving at-risk kids across the city. So with that, I'm going to introduce my colleague, Heather. She is going to tell us about another exciting component of this pilot project.
Good morning, everyone. So in addition to the 2 site supervisors that we're hiring from within those individual schools to run the sites, we also work with Share Our Strength, which is a national hunger organization. You might know them from their No Kid Hungry campaign. And we applied for and we were awarded 2 summer youth ambassadors who will be working directly on this summer program with these 5 sites. They are 2 really exceptional college students who will be doing everything from working at the site, filling in when necessary, to doing canvassing and marketing, to meeting with legislators and bringing them to the sites and educating them on this need. And so we're very excited about that. These 2 ambassadors will actually be going to DC for training with Share Our Strength and then coming here to work in the summer. And one of the things that they are going to work on that Share Our Strength promotes as a best practice, we all know that participation tends to lag during the latter part of the summer. So they will be planning what's called spike events to re-energize kids about these summer programs, to attract them and get them re-engaged. And so we're really eager to see how that's going to affect the participation at these sites. One other thing about one of the ambassadors that we hired, she's really exceptional. She's going to be joining the Peace Corps in the fall and going to Africa, and she's an amazing person. She's a product of Columbus Public Schools, and she is really excited to represent Columbus, the great experience that she had at her school, and then also she was a big user of Columbus Rec and Park programs. So we're excited to see how their contribution is going to help in this process. So, and then we're going to turn it over to Amanda again.
Another thing that we're going to do is hopefully work with the youth in the summertime.
Oh, that's right.
So 14
Yes.
to 24 TANF eligible youth. Hopefully we'll be able to hire 2 at each of those sites that we had up there because they'll be hopefully from within the community, so they'll know the children, they'll know the staff, hopefully, and it's just giving it back to that family. So we're really excited about that as well. So you guys are getting a tidbit of what we're doing this summer, and I know it sounds like, wow, that's a lot at 5 sites. So we're really excited to hopefully really succeed this summer and expand it. So keep that in mind while we're talking about this. If you think of a place that this will fit, data, youth employment, behavioral health. We would really love for you to reach out to us and learn more. But yes, we are definitely going to move forward. And thank you both for telling us about what you're planning.
Good morning, thank you. I'm Susan Lewis Kaler, and I'm with St. Vincent Family Center. We're probably the newest partner this year, and we are so excited to be a partner in this project. I think part of how we got involved with this, at the end of last summer, I reached out to Amanda, and I felt so discouraged that we had so many summer camp programs reach out to us in the throes of summer and say, we've got these little ones who have such significant behavior issues, they're not going to be able to stay in our summer camp. We want them, we know they need this, we know that this is why we're here, but the behaviors are so significant, it's not a good match. When we were in the throes of our own summer efforts, it was very hard to kind of reach in and pivot and do what we wanted. We wanted to be a good collaborator. We don't want any child to be sent home from summer camp. We know that they vitally need to be active and engaged. So it was at the end of that I said to Amanda, like, what could we do to help upstream? What can we do to support all of the staff delivering these fabulous camp experiences? So that just started a series of conversations, and we are so grateful for Director Collins' leadership on this and thinking outside the box and bringing in new partners like us to see how we could serve upstream and try to collaborate better. So St. Vincent Family Center just to give you a little background who we are. We are a pediatric behavioral health care center. We're on the Near East Side. We've been there for 140 years. Happy to be on the Near East Side, but last year we served about 5,000 youth, not just at our facility, but throughout the community. We deliver all of our services with an emphasis on trauma-informed care. 90% of the children and families we served were at or below the poverty line. So we know that our families struggle. They all have experiences, often, many have experiences with trauma, from things like homelessness, addiction, unemployment, violence in their community, a variety of issues. So we are happy to be collaborating and provide trauma-informed consultation and training to the fabulous staff at Columbus Parks and Rec who are at these 5 sites, and whatever we can do to support the social and emotional learning for these little ones and to support staff in delivering that. Summer is such an important bridge. The children that are having behavioral health issues, and you all know this, the kids who are having troubles in the summer, they had troubles at the end of last year, and they're going to have some behavioral health challenges in August when we go back. We view this summer as a bridge, a really important bridge to build trusting relationships. And when Tony talked about his experience with camp counselors as he was growing up, it's a trusting relationship with an adult that makes all the difference in the world for all of our children, right? For most of us when we were growing up. So we're happy to provide that. We want to be the resource for those consultation services. And for kids who can't be successful in a summer environment, we are happy to bring them our way to St. Vincent Family Center, provide some interventions with their families, and then get them right back to where they want to be in their community. So thank you.
Thank you. Component that we're really excited about adding this year, because the last few years when I've been doing this, I think since 2012, 2013, going into a site and seeing a kid, a child just rock back and forth in the corner, and I don't know if some of the people here, but I took a lot of people to that site because I'm like, what do I do? How do I help this kiddo? And we tried the best we can, but we really didn't have that behavioral health education ourselves. And so to have that important aspect added to our team, we're really looking forward and excited to really dive in and learn more. It's a pilot, we're learning, it's a summer site, any kiddo can come in, we might not have parent intervention, but we're really excited to dive in and learn more. So thank you guys all for your partnership, we're really excited. So now, we'll get back to the regular presentation and introduce the Irvin team.
Hi everyone. My name is Sarah Irvin Clark, and I'm with Irvin Public Relations. My team here today is Michelle Mooney and Dan Farkas, and we're just so excited to be partnering with the Go Lunch program. This is our first year too, so and there couldn't be more excitement from Amanda and Julie and the team. Couldn't be more passion for these kids and for this program. And we're just really excited to jump right on in. As we've already talked about here in Columbus, 1 in 4 children are food insecure. And the biggest challenge that we're going to face is making them aware of the opportunity for this. And so just, creating awareness, they may not know about it, their friends may not know about it, and so we just need to get the word out. And so last year, Columbus Recreation and Parks Department put together a rebrand that we already talked about. Director Collins talked about that. The rebrand of the program, it's a fresh new logo for a kid-friendly for these kids. They put together a wonderful website, social media platforms. So they created a really wonderful foundation for us to just take and run with. And so before we kind of get into all the different marketing initiatives that we're going to be doing, I want to make sure that you all know, again, the keyword here is collaboration. So if you have anything that has worked for you with this population that you really want to talk to us about, please reach out to us after the meeting or go ahead and send us an email. We're open to any and all ideas, and we're really, again, excited to jump into this work. Michelle.
I'm going to talk. So like everyone has said, 1 in 4 are facing food insecurity. That's a lot of people to reach. So how do we reach them? And we know there are a lot of ways that we're going to help to do so. And this is just kind of a montage, but going to the next slide, we know that canvassing is a best practice for getting access information to summer lunch programs. No Kid Hungry says this is one of the best practices to reach those children and let them know of programming and food that's accessible to them during the summer months. We want to take this a little further this year, but neighborhood canvassing by not only dropping the literature off, but kind of where there's spaces here below, letting them know where the closest access to food is in their neighborhood, so they know that, wow, this is right in our neighborhood. So again, getting this information into the neighborhoods that need this information. But we'll take it also one step further with the collateral materials. So who are those resources partners? They're in the suburbs like Westerville, Worthington. Again, letting them know about access to this program that is offered not only in the 5 open sites, but in 200 plus sites throughout the city. Other avenues, libraries, resource centers, free clinics, barber shops, the Columbus Metropolitan Library and other libraries, and then Columbus City Schools. And then the next slide. Wow, what a great partnership. And like Director Collins said, poverty isn't just limited into the Columbus City School District. So if there are any other school districts, we'd love to work with you as well. But just to sit down with Columbus City Schools and just has been wonderful as to what a great partner they are. So not only will we be doing the auto dial phone calls that reach every student in Columbus City Schools, we'll also be geo-targeting them to those 5 open sites. So again, with the help from Columbus City Schools, they'll know, wow, I live in Wineland Park. I can go to Wineland Park this week and not only get breakfast and lunch, but COSI or Franklin Park Conservatory will be there. So again, kind of getting a little bit more specific to those neighborhoods. So again, people know this is going on in my community. It's fun, it's a safe place, and my child is going to be getting a nutritious meal. Columbus City Schools also will be putting the Go Lunch flyers in Spanish, English, and Somalian language, and as well as some other languages, right? Didn't mean to point Scott out. On their electronic bulletin board, again, providing a resource, and then we'll link the Go Lunch site from its app. So again, just different ways into reaching this audience that we really, again, need to reach 1 in 4 kids.
Media.
That's Dan.
Media is different. I think we all know that media is different. It's changed over the last 5 years. Here's what we know. Media is vastly different. We have to appreciate, accept, and acknowledge the diversity of how we consume content and do things differently. That said, abandoning old tactics I don't think is a smart approach. We know that if you're a care provider, you watch anywhere between 25 and 45 hours of television per week. We also know you consume 15 hours of radio content per week. So the idea of utilizing existing resources, and God bless the folks here helping film this, will help us with the idea of utilizing a public service announcement that goes on traditional media, but also thinking about the social concept as well and why social media matters. I saw this study, which is fascinating, and I could see some of you are like, social, okay, look at all the phones on the table right now. We know this is the world that we live in. And I saw this study. I'm just curious, show of hands. 46% of people, before feet hit the floor in the morning, check their phone for social media or news. And we're all like, oh yeah, email, yep, that's us. And we've got to be able to appreciate how we consume content differently on the phone, and that being able to utilize this multimedia, not just in the traditional space, but in the social space is going to help. And we also know that media relations is going to work as well in terms of people consuming news content, consuming the Dispatch and those other sources that we grew up with, but it's also appreciating media content in a different way, whether it is blogs, whether it is social influencers with tens of thousands of people. All of these collaborative partners in the room and all of these opportunities that are out here. Our goal really is to use all of this content over the context of the summer and be able to share and showcase these stories in as many different ways as possible. I will leave with a remark that I found fascinating and somewhat dated, but those of you who remember Johnny Carson back in the day know that on a typical Thursday, Johnny Carson would get more ratings than Letterman, Leno, Colbert, Stewart, Noah, and every other late night talk show host combined. It's a fragmented world, and that's really interesting and fascinating. Our hope with our media strategy is to be able to meet those people where they are and be able to showcase the opportunities that are at hand with the hopes of being able to get people in and spark conversations about a program that literally impacts everyone in this city and everyone in this community. And so yes, this national approach, it's beautiful. We can get anything on the planet with this, but the idea of being local and door-to-door is important as well. And I know Sarah very quickly wanted to talk about some other more grassroots local approaches we're going to tackle this summer.
So anyway, with the other tactics, just this is a quick catch-all. We were looking at definitely continuing the stenciling program. Last year, that really worked with the kids to go to the different sites and stencil, and that helps the branding, that helps them know with wayfinding where exactly they need to go. So we'll definitely do that and expand on that this year. Also, we're looking at incentivizing children because, you know, a free nutritious lunch might not be that exciting for them, but a party always is. So looking at maybe rewarding the kids who have the highest attendance at a site in June and July, and bringing out the special lunch from the strawberry food truck, or bringing out Schmitz to have a special cream puff party or something like that. And then also we're looking at expanding the programming at the different sites. I mean, we already have incredible programming, but if there's some way we can expand that, we're definitely going to work with our partners that we work with child-friendly programming. And again, like the mayor said, tricking them into learning some more fun stuff during the summer. So finally, again, it's a collaboration. I really want you guys all to kind of think about what works for you and what we have. If we haven't mentioned something that really works, please track us down and talk to us. And also a quick bug in your ears for the media relations piece. We really want your stories. If you have a great volunteer that continuously shows up and works and has a great story, if you have a great program, please tell us about it, because we're constantly going to need some really good content, not just for social media, but for general media relations, and to keep pitching the great word about Go Lunch. We're really excited. Thanks so much.
But we are really excited about the partnership and getting everybody enthusiastic. There's flyers on the table, there's flyers in the back. If anybody wants any flyers, let us know. We're happy to share. But I am excited to introduce Julie so she can talk more about Rec and Parks and what her coordination is.
I just want to thank you again for being here, but for the partnership and everything you all bring to the table. I know it's been mentioned again and again, but having spent some time over the winter looking at the numbers from around the state, at what other cities are doing, what other counties are able to accomplish, no one comes close. You heard Cleveland and Cincinnati combined, and I think you can actually throw Dayton and Toledo in there combined. They don't touch what we do here in Columbus. We can only do that because of the partnerships. We can only do that because we work so well together. I've worked in other cities, and I've talked to people from other cities around the country, and the thing they always say is, how do you do that? Like, how do you work so closely with your own health department or your school district or the libraries? How do you get everybody at the table? And I said, I don't really know. We work well together here. When I call somebody up, they're like, sure, when can we get together? What can we do? Most of the phone calls that come into my office are people offering to help. We get some calls from families looking for food, and we can direct them, but most of those people have already had contacts with some of you all over. The calls that come into my office are people offering to help. How can we serve more kids? Where can we reach out? What site can we go and volunteer at? From just citizens around the city and the county, from other organizations. We can do what we do because we do it well together. So thank you. That is how we do it.
what my goal now as we continue to serve the kids to get into more communities is to take that level of relationship building that we have at this level and bring it down to the table for the kids. We need to continue to build those relationships, and this is something we actually talk about in training with the sites. Meals are a time for building relationships. We don't sit alone at home. We get together with our friends to eat, with our families to eat, special events in our lives we get together to eat. Mealtime is a time for building relationships. So if you're running sites, if you're out doing programming with the kids, this is a time to connect with the kids in our neighborhoods, to draw them in, to keep them coming, to connect them with other resources, and to continue this community building that we already have in this room down to these children and help them connect into everything that we're doing. So again, I thank you for your work. What we do is not possible without you, and I look forward to the summer working together.
Thank you, Julie, for coordinating 220 sites and the meals of 220 sites. That's huge and impactful, and you're always so willing to talk to people. So Julie will be here afterwards to talk about if you're interested in site for sponsorship. She's the master at that, so please reach out to her. But thank you so much for all of your help and support just as teammates, because this job is really crazy. It's good. Sorry, bosses. It's good, crazy, but it's really crazy, and I really appreciate all of the support. Julie doing the food programming, all of the different sponsors here. I've worked with Scott for years. There's so many of you I've worked with so many years, so I could go on and on and on and thank you, but it's not me. It's all of us in this room, and I really appreciate it. Please reach out to us and let us know how we can help. Please let us know how we can expand this next year. Know that in next year's meeting, we will reveal all this awesome data that Dr. Gunther is going to share. And the Irving team's going to put together really pretty stories for us with this data, so we're really excited about it. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here.